I don't know what's going on. 3, 2, 1, go. And welcome back to LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the business and jobs podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. It's a website, go there. I am adding that addendum to, and if I left it in after I edited, you heard me say, I don't know what's going on. There's something going on with the cables. I have to update these cables. I've had the cable that connects this mic to the Zoom recorder for so long, and it's not good. And it's the only, and I'll say this, it's the only Amazon Basics thing I own. I do not own any other Amazon Basics thing because the short of it is, if something does really well on the Amazon platform, that is a third-party device or whatever. Like if Yeti, this is Hydro Flask. If Hydro Flask started selling water bottles on the platform, and then they see that the Amazon sees that Hydro Flask and Yeti and all these other companies are doing well, then they go, well, we'll make our own tumblers. And what they do is they'll just get like some very cheap company to start making them and put out the same exact product, and it's just not good. So these cables are the only ones I own, the only Amazon Basics thing I own. Anyway, that's why I was reacting to what was going on. I don't know what's going on anymore. Oh my God. I went off on a whole spiel, but I was going to say something else. Welcome back in. This is episode 103. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a different podcast. I just recorded an interview with a comedian that'll be out tomorrow on the Constitutional's podcast feed. So please be sure to listen and to watch. Remember, I don't get paid for this. But it's nice to know that I have some sort of following. And by some sort of following, I mean I barely have a following. But again, I don't do this for money. Check that, Smartless Boys, Conan, all these friggin' big-time celebs coming in and doing podcasts. Welcome back in, making money. Although it does seem like I try not to subscribe to any more podcasts. The truth of it is, years ago, before podcasts were big and mainstream, I was listening to all these alternative comedy podcasts. I was one of those people, and news podcasts and all this stuff. And this is before like truly anyone was making money. And then podcasts hit it big because of Serial and because of Conan, the likes of those programs. And then everything just became kind of whitewashed in terms of just what is good and special. And now, since literally anyone can make a podcast, it's just not good anymore. It's just everything is just so everyone wants to make a dime, which is fine. People have to have ways to make money, which is good and fine. And again, I'm all for people making money doing something that they like, but I shouldn't be on a Facebook Marketplace and see, which is it's the only way you'll find me on Facebook, because everything else is I haven't posted there in decades. But I shouldn't go to Facebook Marketplace and see someone selling their podcast setup because you thought you were going to hit it big, and then every description is the same. Haven't touched it. It's not used. I didn't want to do this anymore. It's just like, why? You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars in order to do a podcast. And first of all, you don't need to do a podcast. I've been doing C Plus Comedy we're in our 13th year. I've been doing it for 12 years, but we're in our 13th year. It's just, it's a portfolio. It's a portfolio. Don't come in thinking you're going to make money. I'm going to be Alex Earl. She's an attractive white woman. She's going to make money regardless. Ooh, I'm going to get canceled. Welcome back in episode 103. I had a discussion with it's Friday afternoon. I hate to say supervisor because that's not really what she is, but my supervisor goes, "Hey, let's have a chat about some upcoming work things because we've been having meetings all week." And so we have this hour and 14-minute conversation. We did shoot the shit a little bit. I just bought tickets to see Bruce Springsteen. I would, you know what? Thanks to this job, I would not be able. I'm able to afford things like that rower, like this Garmin watch, this new Garmin watch I have. And it's and Bruce Springsteen tickets is wonderful. I'm excited. You better believe I'm showing up every day with a fucking smile on my face. But we talked about that. But anyway, I was informed that I would be taking over 2 new networks, including I have not discussed where I work. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. But I do currently work for a place that has a lot of networks. I just realized that I've never mentioned exactly where I work. I work at a place with TV networks. It's not Warner Bros. But we'll get to Warner Bros. In a second. So I'll be taking over a couple more networks along with my current duties of. I'll tell you the networks I am in charge of right now. In charge, in quotes. The networks that I cover. There we go. That's it. That's a good way to put it. The networks I cover. They are 2 big ones. Oh, the other ones have already been added. Oh, plus there's another one. Oh, Lord. Oh, God, there's 2 more. Oh, no, there's 5. There's 5 more in total. Anyway, the networks I cover now, you know them. It's great. It's wonderful. But this is just like I have added responsibilities, which is an insane thing for me to have. But also I'm in my 30s and I need to have some sort of added responsibility when it comes to work, because again, I'm coming from what's CNN, where I was treated like a child, like truly. So it's just amazing to be in a place where they're like, they ask you a question, you got to know the answer, and that happened during a meeting, mostly. I think like 45 minutes ago or so. I'm sorry, what time is it? No, it was like 2 hours ago. See, I don't even know what's going on. Anyway, yeah, added responsibilities. Listen, I did do one thing else today. One thing else. I did do one thing else today, and I would like to talk about it because I think it is also important to just have things ready to go at a moment's notice. How do I change this? Ooh, I updated my resume. I'm doing my darndest not to show. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to save a different version of the resume that does not have my contact information on it, because sometimes I will get C+ Comedy has a contact us page, and unfortunately the only people that use it are insane people. And by insane people, I mean it's just like people trying to sell stuff and or their services. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not going to happen. I'm never going to use your service. I'm never going to allow you to. Okay, cool. I'm never going to allow you to become the podcast distributor. I already have a distribution. We're good. All right. I've done this so quickly. Thank you, Adobe. Hello? It's expensive. Okay, so here is my current resume, and I have to blur out a section. I do have to blur out a section. But here is my current resume. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Here's my current resume. I do have to blur something out. And These are the experience. This is experience I have to have for this job. If you're watching the video, you see up top that I am a graphics producer, whatever, motion graphics producer, whatever. Who cares? And if you notice, I don't know if I've shown this before, but I've had to change the now. God, what is it? The layout. This is my latest. This is my latest resume. Again, this is the one from that I think I was hired off of at this current job. That it will have to be blurred out when I do this in post production. And I've moved. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess I've had so many positions that I've finally had to not delete one of them, but I did have to just throw it into an other section. And you'll see that the digital producer, NBC News, WXIA, is no longer being featured. It's no longer one that is under experience with other things. The associate producer, Weather Channel, has been moved into that spot because this current job as a motion graphics producer is has taken up a lot of the space, which is good. I think it's always important to have an updated resume. Actually, today, this is something I will also mention. Today, I checked my email, and even in the promotions, I bought a ticket to see a comedy show at City Winery. That's in May, and now they will not stop emailing me. I think I've gotten dozens of emails in the past 3 days. Dozens. I'm not kidding. Dozens. Anyway, there was Jiminy Christmas. Now I don't even know. I think this is it. Yes. I'm during the pandemic. I don't know if I've discussed this. During the pandemic, there were a bunch of diversity pushes for the entertainment industry, which is really good. That all stemmed from the unfortunate killings of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. I think very specifically that's where these came from. I hit the microphone. One of the things I was a part of was just like, I'll call it a writers group. It was a writers group that focused on people of color, people with different ability, disabled people. I'm sorry. I'm like Porky Pig. Disabled people with different ability, disabled, and queer people, and differently abled is what I was trying to say. Christ in heaven. So it was a writers group that was focused on that. That was started by, I can't remember the other person who started was a young lady, and Joe Firestone, comedian Joe Firestone. And essentially they would just, sit down with, I don't know how many people were there. It was a healthy number. I would say it was like 50 or so. But we would have like Zoom meetings and everything, because everybody was, at home, and we would have Zoom meetings, and then we would break out into smaller groups of 3 or 4 and just talk about writing and what we're writing and share different writing things. And it was nice for a little bit. And I think they did it like 4 or 5 times. But because people were all over the United States, we would just, we were encouraged to meet outside of the regular time. So we would, have conversations outside of the times. I'll tell you one time, me and another guy, it was supposed to be 3 of us. I'm obviously here in Atlanta. The other guy was in Los Angeles, and I don't know where the other guy was. But we all said, let's meet at this time. And also it was like Saturday at like 8 PM. So it was 5 PM for that guy. It was like 8 PM for me. And I remember I showed up at like maybe a couple minutes late, and this other guy was the guy in California, was, I don't want to put him on blast, but also I don't remember this guy's name, almost in full tears, because I guess the other person is not showing up, and then I wasn't there, so he felt like we were ditching him, and I came on. We chatted about just writing and things of that nature, and that was fine. That was pretty much it. He was a nice guy. I don't remember anything about him except that one, I also think he was high, and that's pretty much it. And I remember what he looks like, and I remember what his apartment looked like. Anyway, that was a time period. But then one of the other things that I don't remember how I was a part of, but I think it might be through the Writers Guild of America, because I'm not a part of the guild. I'm just I get the emails and everything, and they had this diverse representation program, and they often send out emails about, here's some online meetings we're going to have where you can talk to this person who's a showrunner, or talk to this person who's an actor, who's a writer, or whatever, producer, editor. They talk to a lot of different people. And I don't know what this diverse representation thing is through. I just remember that I signed up for it. And then this morning I get an email, and apparently Disney has a new, I don't know if this is new, I don't know if this is old, but they have Disney Entertainment Television's Creative Talent Development and Inclusion Team. Oh, okay. So they essentially just created a thing where this department through Disney connects writers, producers, directors, and crew and other talent at all levels of opportunities across Disney Entertainment Television. So it's kind of like a Workday situation, but it's definitely not Workday. And they work with everybody at Disney, from 20th Television to FX to Hulu to ESPN to Searchlight Pictures. It's great. This is great. And it just seems like it is a jobs connector. I did sign up for it. But the one thing about it is that it is heavily, it's not like it requires IMDb, like you have to have an IMDb, but it is something that is going, hey, if you have an IMDb, link it here. Because again, I think every single person needs help in this industry pretty much all the time, unless you're Shonda Rhimes or Ryan Murphy or Judd Apatow. You're going to need, and even then, I would probably say, they would need help if Judd Apatow wants to go out and make another bad movie like The Bubble. Ugh, I hated that thing. Then he's gonna have to find a distributor and other producers and everything. And Judd, baby, I'll work with you. I know I said that movie sucked, and it does, but baby, I'll work with you. So we'll see what comes out of that. I signed up for. It's not a sign up situation. It's you put your name in and all the job stuff you've done. But I don't know. First, you have to make an IMDb, and I don't think I am going to do that unless I am paying for IMDb, and that's not going to happen right now. I just bought all these stuffs. How am I going to see Bruce Springsteen if I don't get the water? It's interesting. Is it? But just keep an eye out for stuff. Okay, hey, let's get into this other. That is my email. I'm gonna close that down. Let's get into this story. The one story I have. What is going on? How come I can't see anything? What? Oh. What? Oh, geez, Louise. The window's not popping up, so you can't see nothing. Okay, hold on. That's the wallpaper. Okay, now you can see the wallpaper. All right, can you see this? Oh, God, you can't. All right, whatever. This comes from the New York Times. It's written by Lauren Hirsch. Paramount revises its bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Last week, we had information. I talked about this on the Constitutionals, Entertainment Business News podcast, that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to reopen talks with Paramount Skydance. Here's a very compressed version of it. This is like the 10th offer that Paramount Skydance has offered Warner Brothers Discovery, and they received the revised offer. Paramount Skydance sent a revised offer for Warner Brothers Discovery in order to take it away from Netflix. The deal, essentially a handshake agreement that's basically written on paper, more than a handshake agreement. That is that for Netflix to buy Warner Brothers Discovery or Warner Brothers assets. And Paramount Skydance has come in and said, hey, we want to buy everything. And we want to buy it for roughly the $30 a share. And then we'll also pay all the debts that you have. Also, we'll pay the couple $1 billion that you'll have to pay to Netflix for the breakup fee of that deal. And then we'll also pay you $650 million per quarter that the Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Brothers Discovery deal does not close, starting in 2027. And then, basically the same day that they sent this deal, David Ellison, who is Larry Ellison's son, Trump's best billionaire boyfriend, said, hey, the DOJ is going to say that this deal is good to go, essentially just kind of wiping away that $650 million per quarter that the deal does not close. So shareholders, even the ones that are enticed should be like, that's pretty strange. Okay. Should Warner Bros. Discovery deem Paramount's revised bid superior, Netflix would have 4 days to counter it. Oh my gosh. They're looking it over now. I believe they have March or something like 10 days or something along those lines. And truly, it just seems like we are on the brink of just like the closure of the current state of entertainment media. It's infuriating to see that this kind of deal is just being talked over. And truly, the only people who are going to win from a deal like this are the current CEOs themselves. David Ellison would get a mega conglomerate of an empire that he did not build himself, except, Skydance, if anything, that's the thing that he built, even though he probably still had help with that. And then David Zaslav, who will probably get paid. He's going to get paid a pretty penny regardless. He's going to be a billionaire at the end of this, regardless of who buys this. So now Warner Brothers Discovery is reviewing this new bid, and shareholders are going to be talking it out. I don't know how long they have until, but I think it's March, is something along those lines. Again, you don't want these media monopolies, but no matter what happens at the end of this, it will be a big media monopoly. And I think I've shown my hand. I want to side with Netflix, even though I don't like the idea. But Ted Sarandos came out last week, and hopefully he will stick to his word, because I think he will break his word at some point in the future. Near future, maybe. Late future, hopefully. But he did say in an interview that they will stick with the 45-day theatrical window for movies, and then they will also allow movies to live on PVOD, Premium Video on Demand. So that means the $20 you pay to buy a movie at home after it leaves theaters, but before it lands on a streaming service, because that is a very lucrative model too. You make more money there than you probably would just streaming it. Whereas for Paramount, Skydance, they said that with Warner Brothers Discovery, they would release like 30 films a year, which is insanity. With the company, and again, their money is backed by Larry Ellison, as well as a bunch of Saudi companies, Saudi organizations, which is not, like a slur or anything. It's true. It's backed by Saudi Saudi money. No, we don't want any of this. Again, and I obviously I do, and I will say this over and over again. I would love for Warner Brothers Discovery to just live on its own, but that's not where we are right now. Okay, that's pretty much it. Yep. They revised the offer. There's nothing else going on. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see a video version, where you can see pretty much everything I've ever done. If you want to see this new interview that's coming out tomorrow with a comedian, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can see a video, where you can see a video version of this show, as well as a video version of the other shows, the Constitutionals podcasts, the Entertainment Business News podcast. That's where the audio version of the interviews are, as well and Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show is coming back this week, and you can see video versions of the interviews on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. Subscribe to the shows where you get your podcast. Follow us on social media: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky @cpluscomedy. Me on those platforms @ChadBlackWhite. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.